Hello, my dear friends. How are you?
Very good, Amber. Nice to see you. I'm Miss
Doing
Nicole.
really well.
Always wonderful to see you. For those who don't know, and really, why don't you know? Joining me today is astrologer Nicole Garceau, who is also has a regular column in the Cartomancer, Cosmic Ripples. And we have intuitive tarot reader and medium Pamela Bell, who does write regularly for the Cartomancer as well. I am very lucky, very fortunate to have these ladies part of the team and as my dear friends. And we're pretty excited because we get to talk about the energies for the upcoming autumn equinox and some messages and ideas on how to navigate it and utilize them, just kind of harness them and make them work for us to the best possible abilities that we can. So I'm going to start off with Nicole talking a little bit about what we have coming up for the equinox and some other some of the things we have coming on. We've got the eclipse happening. We've got full moon.
Oh, yes. It's eclipse season, baby.
Go for it, Nicole.
Well, it's eclipse season and planets go direct season. Well, outer planets, anyways. So, because Mercury just went direct, but it's still in shadow. And so it's going to finish this post shadow season, and then we're all in the clear as of October 1st. And so then after that, what do we have? Yeah, we have the lunations, obviously in Aries, which we start with the full moon in Aries. But the big thing is that Taurus goes Pluto goes direct at the beginning of October, and then it's going to be followed by Saturn direct on November 4th, and then Neptune direct December 6th. So those three planets in this part of the grouping of energy is going to be going direct. But Pluto direct is going to be a big one, because then shortly after that, we're going to have the eclipse. And that's going to be a tough eclipse because it squares Pluto direct. So it's changed. And the thing is, Pluto's been squaring the nodes, and it's holding that square against those nodes. And nodes, for those that don't understand it, that's what's responsible for creating eclipses, and that's where your leaps forward in a certain area of life will happen. But changes in the works, folks. It's undeniable, and it's very rare that Pluto squares the nodes, and this eclipse here will trigger that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of change, right? A lot of that movement happening, and in order to do that, I feel, to ride this one out, it's not a time for us just to sit back and be passive. We need to be proactive. We need to be acting on what we're doing, what we want. We need to be very proactive in our communication, in our thought process, and in our planning. Pam, are you getting any specific messages coming through? Specifically, let's talk about for the first thing that's happening late Friday night here in the Pacific area. But we've got our fall equinox happening. So
For the fall equinox, I love this. It's the fool, you guys. All right. That is gorgeous energy for this equinox, because that is take the leap of faith. Do it. Don't overthink it. Don't kill your ideas, your dreams, your goals with details. Just take the leap of faith, because the fool has everything required. Everything this person, they can carry everything. Oh, it's on this side. Everything they need is right there. And you have everything you already need for this journey. You just have to have the faith and just take the leap. Trust it and go. And it's a moving card. This is not a standstill card again. It is a move your butt. That is also with the Empress. And move with care and nurturing. Move from the heart. What are you trying to birth? The Empress is, she's birthing something. That is, what are you creating? What is that next chapter? what do you want it to look like? And I keep intuitively, and I got this message last time we were together, but I got it again today when I was meditating. If not now, when? I don't think those of us that are, if you're in time with it and if you're taking advantage of this energy, it's going to be a catapult in a good way. If you're fighting it or you're resisting, you're going to get face planted. It's going to be it'll be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the perfect description there to describe that cosmic energy of Pluto in the solar eclipse. Perfect. Mm-hmm. And because the thing is, like when a planet changes direction, its energy is especially potent. And so Pluto changed direction October 11th, and just 3 days later we got the solar eclipse.
Right.
This is a brand new beginning.
Yeah, brand new start.
And Pluto demands that. So Pluto's in Capricorn, and Capricorn is the status quo. You know, it's things we're familiar with, right? And it's things that, you know, the reason why we're familiar with it, because it's been part of tradition. It's part of things that we've done repeatedly over time, and it's just the way things went.
Right.
But it's not working no more.
Nope.
You know, and with Pluto, things can get scary, but Pluto asks you to go deep within, and it asks you to be vulnerable. But not only that, it you know, it's like the biblical scripture, you know, walking through the valley of death. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And it's the metamorphosis process. And, you know, in the end, you become more empowered. It's the caterpillar that becomes a butterfly, but you have to have faith in the process. Trust the change.
Yeah. Trust and faith, I think, are very important factors right now. And that whole idea of digging deep, and you have to have a certain amount of courage to do that. And that was the Empress card that you held up from that deck. Can you just put that up again? Because what I found interesting about that with the Empress card is that, you know, it looks like she's pulling herself open in a way, right? Exposing that so she's exposing that to everyone around, but also to herself, so she can go into that deeper place and pull out those seeds within her that are going to help her take the action that she needs. And I love that, because it's just that, you know, what is within inside of you that you need to manifest? What is that potential? And there's so much of that energy for us to take advantage of right now. But at the same time, we don't want to feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. So, Pam, how can people not feel overwhelmed with all of this intense going within and all this digging deep? And
Sorry.
This is the Five of Cups. Now, Five of Cups, that is, you know, all of the grievances, all of your, you know, the things you've been disappointed in the past. It is time. It's a 5. Now, 5, I've said this before, 5 is the loneliest number in tarot, because it's the farthest from the Fool, which is that faith-filled leap, and it's the farthest from the 10, which is the completion of the chapter. So 5 is in the middle, so it can feel disruptive. However, it is about change. So it's time to change and shift out of this. Ooh, I'm getting some downloads. It's time to shift out of this woe is me energy. I don't know who I'm calling out, but I'm calling somebody out. I know it's time to shift out of this energy. So whatever you've been disappointed in the past, whatever grievances you have, whatever has hurt you, it's time to draw a line and move through it. Not past it, because I don't want to erase anybody's emotions or experiences, but it's time to move through it and change or shift the attitude. And then just take practical steps, not a pentacles, take practical steps, grounded practical steps, and just methodically take care of the details you need to take care of. If you are like, if this eclipse equinox is making you change jobs, if that is one of the aspects of your life, the practical version of that was, okay, you got to fill out a resume, update your resume, and you have to actually send your resume places. And then you have to go on interviews, and you have to follow. So this is just like that practical, a little bit boring. You got to pay attention to the boring details of the dream too. It's not just, it doesn't magically happen for us. You know, when we have a dream or a goal, you have to actually put in action, and it's a grounded detailed type action. So, but it is also time to shift out of that woe is me, I can't because whatever we tell ourselves. It's time to stop.
It's a time for us to be moving forward. It's a time for us to dream, and not just, and dreaming without action gets you nowhere.
Right.
You can have the vision, you can have the goal, but you still should be doing something along the way if that's truly what your heart desires. So it's working from that place from your heart, and what you're being called to do, what you're being led to do. And it is a big part of that is trusting your intuition. Mm-hmm. And I think that during this time, that yes, it's a time for we setting those type of dreams and goals, but it's also a time for us to be paying attention to our dreams, to the messages, to the images that come through to us in the dream. And we can also pre-program our dreams if we're trying to find an answer. If you're going, okay, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I feel all this change going on. And Pamela, Nicole, and Amber were talking about all this that's happening and all this energy, but I don't know what to do with it. You can preset yourself, in those few minutes before you fall asleep. Ask your guide, spirit, whatever suits you to get a message, help give me a clear message on how I can utilize this. What is my next step forward? Is it actually just picking up that resume and filling it out and following through on that? Is it taking that first step on a new path? Is it clearing up communication that got really so gummed up nobody knows where they stand anymore within a circle of relationship? So, and Pam, I know that actually it was Nicole who said it when we were having a little pre-funk meeting. You said it's a time where we're moving from uncertainty to certainty. And I want to know, what cosmically is supporting us, individually and collectively, moving from that place of not knowing and not really being secure in ideas to that place where we do have that clarity to move forward and take action.
Well, there's a lot of outer planets and earth signs, right? And earth signs materialize, but also you have a planet that rules an earth sign in Pisces. So what is all this that I just said? So we have Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto takes over 240 years, to make full circle. So this is a once in a lifetime transit here. And it's only going to go through a few signs in our whole lifetime. And for us, we're here to experience that within Capricorn. And amidst other signs, because it is obviously going to move and be in Aquarius for 20 years. But and we've already had a taste of that. But Pluto's in Capricorn. We have, what else we have? We have Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is changing our values, and with that, they're working together to shift these ideas of this capitalist society, this individualistic society, and how we've lost touch with certain elements in our lives and gotten too material, and with that lack of balance and stuff like that, right? So the ruler of Capricorn, where Pluto currently is, Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn is going to go direct. This is its first retrograde in Pisces. So now it's going to go direct. This is dream work. This is sober reality of, what your dreams are like, what's real, what's not, what can you make happen? Because it's, to pay back on what you were saying earlier, Amber, is that it's the saying, a vision without an action or plan is just a dream. That's it. It's nice to dream. It's nice to this, but, let's get real. And that's what Saturn's about in Pisces. So we got a shift in values going on in Taurus. And then, it's obviously, multifaceted thing. It's not just values, but it's a part of the story. And Pluto, it's about, authority, the top-down structures, the status quo of tradition, doing things the way we've been doing just because that's the way we've been taught. That's what's been passed down from time and time again. That's, it's just all we knew, really. But with the eclipses that just happened in Taurus and Scorpio, you got, Pluto that rules Scorpio, so it'll carry that flavor amidst the eclipse, and Uranus within those things. So we got that jolt. So now Saturn's in Pisces. Okay, let's get real here. What can we make happen? What can't we make happen? We got the form within the formless, but at the same token, it's Saturn is all about the work you put into things, and it's also the planet that makes things real. And within Pisces, yes, it's there's that formless situation, but it's also dream work. It's also about working on your intuition, your inner knowing, your faith moving forward, trusting that instinct of moving forward instead of wandering around aimlessly, because that's the reason why there's increased anxiety all over the place. Aimlessness, lack of plan, lack of direction creates high anxiety, and it's time to go within and not get medicated for it.
Yeah, I like how you're talking about that earthiness and that grounding, right? So and when we're talking about grounding and earth, we're right in the suit of pentacles. Right? That's kind of what's going to help us keep us bounded, keep us our feet planted, so that dreams aren't just taking us floating into nowhere, so that we can keep the clarity of the vision. And I like how you're talking about the circling, right? Everything, how there's a circle to complete a circuit. And so, Pam, what messages specifically can we get through the suit of pentacles, and for that point of taking it, that important aspect of taking things from this very self-centered, self-focused reality that many people have been existing, where I think the collective has very much been existing it, and bringing it outward. So what messages do we have that will support that type of look for us?
We get the Ace of Pentacles, and that is those. I love the the Ace of Cups. Pardon me. I got Pentacles on the brain because I pulled the Pentacles over here. Ace of Cups. This is a new beginning, a new start from a heart. I just noticed yesterday that this has a heart shape in the background of that Ace of Cups. So it's time for one of the changes people can be making is starting a new thing, a new project, a new chapter, a new job, whatever new change you're making, can be more heart-centered, more fulfilling, more love, please. Can we have more love? More love, please. Less conflict. And then the Knight of Pentacles came out again. Now, for those of you who don't know, when, that was, I shuffled in between while they were talking. So totally different spread, astronomically, numerically, or it's a high percentage when things come out again. When a card comes out again, that is Spirit's way of putting an exclamation point on it, saying, pay attention, grounded, take practical steps. Heart-led, you got to leave. What it is, I'm going to throw the cards down, because what it is this beautiful mesh between the practical and the dream.
Right.
Like, we are spiritual beings having an earthly experience. It is melding those more together closely, like acknowledging the formless, our spirit and the spirit world and dreams, and bringing it into reality, because we can have those dreams manifest in a reality but you have to take the practical steps and lead with your heart space. Yeah. And again, emotions are going to be big, you guys, because this Eight of Cups.
Oh, yeah. Get out of my head. I'm waiting until you stop and you'll see how this piggybacks.
Okay. The thing I love about this particular Eight of Cups is this person is throwing them, like, boom. So letting go. It's a better image than a lot of the Eight of Cups, where the cups are broken and the person's walking away all sad, which that has its purpose too. The power of walking away from things that are not meant for you anymore. But this Eight of Cups is one of my favorites, because it is participation. It is choice. It is like, this doesn't work for me anymore. Boop. I'm getting rid of it. Because I'm going to do that Ace of Cups. The Aces are loaded with all of the energy required for the whole journey.
Yes.
But they're only potential. You got to take the action. That's where the Knight came in. The Knight of Pentacles came in saying, yes, lead with your heart, lead with love, draw a line in the sand, start again. But you have to do the practical steps, that grounded foundation. You have to take a shower in the morning and brush your hair and go out into the world. And you have to do things. You can't just dream or talk about it. But I love the active releasing of emotions or emotional situations that are no longer fitting. And I think this is on a collective level. We could talk about this only for the next hour.
Absolutely.
Because that top down thing that Nicole was talking about is part of that 8 of Cups, of letting go of things that aren't working anymore. It's time to kick them to the curb.
Yep.
With verve.
Well, we're talking about big emotions is like before Saturn goes direct on November 4th, just before Halloween.
Yay.
We have the full moon eclipse, and that's the last eclipse to be had in Taurus. And the reason why, even though the nodes, just so people understand, is that even though the nodes are officially in Taurus and Scorpio, this is a hybrid eclipse because they're so close. The node is at the very beginning of the degree, and the sun and moon are at the very end of the other degree. So they're within orb, is what we call. And the reason why that full moon in Aries is not an eclipse is because it's way too far. It's past that 15-degree conjunction. Not to say nothing can happen, stuff like that, but for the eclipse, for the purpose of the eclipse, it has to be a lot tighter than that. But that being said, this eclipse is hand in hand with Jupiter. The moon is in conjunction together with Jupiter. Big emotions.
Big emotions. Big.
It's going to be, yeah, definitely. And the moon's going to be in Taurus, and it's going to be opposite Mercury, Mars, the moon. I mean, the sun. So it's going to be it's an opposition. So the key thing here is to strive for balance. Because in opposition, we have that teeter-totter, we have that push-pull, right? So this is a full moon that's on steroids, and Jupiter is with the moon, so it can be super emotional. Yeah. Or you could, use this to your opportunity to materialize, what you've been envisioning. Because Saturn goes direct right after, and so then it's pen to paper time. So as long, and that's the key to integrate any opposition is balance, harmony. And it's also it more often than not they say it manifests in relationships when it comes to oppositions in the skies. So because it is the aspect of relationships, because you're projecting onto each other and stuff like that. So there could be that push pull within the relationship factor as well. But given it's earth signs, and then the other one's the Scorpio, and let's not forget, Pluto's just grinding forward. It's still, very much slow because it just turned direct at the beginning of the month. So, it could be some wounds there. Somebody's probably picking away at a scab. But dredging some stuff up perhaps. But on a more positive thing, it's you can feel more empowered within your relationships and work together for the purpose of balance and harmony as you move forward towards a solid plan. And this is where earth signs come in. We're in a solid plan moving forward. And whatever that may be. It could be business relationships. It could be a contract that you have with other people. Or it could be personal relationships, or just, the fact that when it comes to, social settings and stuff like that, or when you're in mediation, if people are, going through tough times and, going through a mediation process, this will move things forward. And it can be tense when it comes to those situations, but, it's a process that you have to cross through to put it behind you.
Wow. How do you feel that people could use divination? Because we want to be able to empowerment. We can talk about all this, but when we're really looking at empowering us, it is incorporating it. It's integrating it into how we move through the world. So through the cards or through a message that is downloaded for you, Pamela, what's going to help us do that? Because it's not just our own emotions we have to deal with. It's how to navigate those for people around us, and including those who are not as aware or prepared as we may be. Oh, we lost her for a minute.
Oh.
We'll get her back.
We'll get her back. Well, while we wait for her, I'll just take this opportunity to say is that, like even those, this last Taurus, the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio, the past ones have been quite intense because there's been that South Node in Scorpio. So there was that real purging energy happening and that real, release and let go stuff happening. But now it's in Libra. So, and then with this opposition, in this particular eclipse, relationships I feel are going to be more like really prevalent. For those, because COVID, we're coming out of COVID too, right? And separations were at an all-time high. So that's what leads me to believe that, people will be going through some mediation process and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And that experience, that's the reason why I'm saying it'll be intense, because of the Pluto factor. And then there's that South Node in Libra. So it's time to let that all go and move forward and create that new step forward, that new base from where you could be who you're meant to be, to shine. She's trying to
to come back. She's trying to come
hard.
back. We'll get her. We'll get her. The post Mercury retrograde shadow.
It's classic. Yeah.
This is it. This is what happens, folks. Yes, we planned this demonstration for your benefit.
And this is, it was all about the education process we had planned. This is what happens during Mercury retrograde.
100%. Something that I can encourage people to do, and not even, because, okay, maybe not everybody has, a tarot deck or an oracle deck that they can pull from. But if you have, a necklace, if you have a ring you can throw on a string, you can create a pendulum. And when we're talking about things that are being in balance and trying to move forward with balance, right, that pendulum has to come from that pivot point in order to swing. So if we're going to be incorporating that, if you're really like, okay, should I respond to a certain situation or should I sit back? You can write those two things on a piece of paper and then ask the pendulum what you should do. And there's ways to do it. You can either hold a pendulum over each answer and allow it to swing to see how it moves, or the pendulum itself will move to one direction or another. So that's another way to incorporate a type of divination or tool to use. And she is back.
And that's a great way to do it, because Pluto, being involved, with all of this, is a planet of esoteric. So using esoteric, the balance, the pendulum and stuff like that is a way to integrate that energy as well.
Right. And it's all those steps in trusting the intuition, what we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
It's going to give us a beautiful demonstration I can see right now. She's ready to go.
Do you know what happened? I had to switch to my phone.
Hey, at least you're back.
I'm back. What was the question?
That's what I was trying to remember too. We were talking about
the messages,
relationships, and I was talking about mediation and all that kind of stuff.
Well, how we can, a message we can get, or how we can utilize tarot specifically, right, for navigating those energies that might be coming in from around us, from those who are less aware, not just our own, but how do we manage that stuff that's out there? Okay.
All right. For divination, and I like to remind everybody that divination is everywhere. Okay. It's not just tarot cards, oracle cards, psychics. It is everywhere. So it is paying attention to your own intuition. If you hear a specific song that resonates with you, or a quote when you're watching, TikTok, whatever, like, it's paying attention to those little messages, because spirit whispers. Okay. Spirit is very polite and they whisper. So it's about, quieting, everybody needs to quiet the chaos so that you can listen to those little whispers of divination everywhere. I see it in nature. I see it, obviously I pull tarot cards, but I see it everywhere. So as far as how people can use divination in their relationships, was that what it was?
How to navigate the emotions.
How to navigate the emotions. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I got all sideways when my camera went. We hit the Queen of Swords. So, my friends, The Queen of Swords in this position would be, this is, pay attention to your words. Say nice things. This is, again, this is also your thoughts. You have to think as a person thinketh, so are they. You know, these thoughts are energy and they come out of your mouth, and that is creation. So it is about listening to your intuition, because the Queen of Swords trusts her intuition. She also is highly intuitive and logical. This is about staying logical too. And again, I don't want to ever negate emotions, but you have to, I always tell people, you know, I am the first person that will validate your emotions. They're all equal. They're all valid. However, feelings are not facts. Feelings aren't facts, because feelings can be, I can be feeling from an unmet emotional need, or an unhealed trauma, or just plain old ego and anger. So the Queen of Swords is reminding us to communicate clearly from a place of logic. And you also, with the Queen of Swords, you can't get what you're not asking for. So ask for it.
Well, I like that.
If you don't
that's a good reminder.
Yeah, if you don't ask, the answer is no. Yeah. You have to ask. You have to speak it. It's time to put things out there. But it starts up here. And listen to your heart.
And it's funny you're saying about, you know, the divination is everywhere, because I remember like about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks back, 3 separate cars. I took pictures to you guys. Yeah. Like 3 separate cars with 3 license plates that said 888. Yep. And then not only that, yesterday I was talking to a person online, just want to hear about, you know, some rentals and all that. Sure enough, it's not a landlord, it was a realtor. So then because of my vehicle breakdown and all that kind of stuff, long story short, bus driver said, okay, can we like get your cell phone number, so like that we can navigate instead, you know what I mean? Like drop off my son here instead of there. Yeah. Sure enough, he gives me his business card. He's a realtor. And I'm like, this is the sign from the gods. From the universe. Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, what are the odds of that? You know what I mean? Because
no, absolutely. I think that when we take that time and we honor our intuition and we are listening carefully for those whispers, for those messages,
absolutely.
Very often those are the ones we can feel inside. Right? You can feel that resonate. You know, people say, yeah, it's like you walk into some place and you don't feel the vibe is quite right. Something, you feel a little suspicious about something. So it's like, you know, respecting that niggle, right? That little nagging feeling you're feeling inside, you know, have respect for that. And I think part of that very often can come from, you know, where we sit ethically, where we sit morally. And I think it's really important while we're navigating all of this big energy that's coming in waves, and it's going to become, you know, through ourselves that we'll be experiencing and from the outer, that it's important that we're acting from those places of ethics and our morality, because that helps us have that compassion and has that empathy. And having empathy is much different than being an empath, folks, please. Please make that distinction. So, but acting from that place, which I know can even be scary for some people, because, you know, if you're really, you know, something going on is not right, it can be very scary to be the one to stand up to say something. But very often that's what has to be done. You know, it is that call and it is that drive. And I feel that speaks to what, you know, Nicole was saying about how we have to be having more of a sense of community in how we're choosing to act and navigate through the world. So what message do we have for people for courage, for finding the courage to speak from that point and act from that place?
Six of Cups. Okay. 6 of Cups. Wow. This really, you know, oh God, there's so many things. The 6 of Cups here, I'm going to say it's time to resolve and get overcome. Again, the 5 of Cups, we already pulled the 5 of Cups. This 6 of Cups is getting over. It's the victory. It's the moving on from the disappointments and the hurts and all those feelings. And the 6 of Cups here is going to be, it's time to heal. You have to move on from your past, from past people, past emotions, and win. This is a win. 6s are a victory. because you've moved past the 5. So, but it's also a card of lighten up and play more, like childlike play. We have to, as we get to be grown-ups, I don't know why we ever wanted to be grown-ups when we were children. Because it was much more fun being a kid, you know. I remember when you were a kid and you were magically transported to your bed when you fell asleep.
Oh yes,
I miss that magic transportation when my dad would carry me to bed. So yeah, this is a 6 of Cups is a card of we need to play. We need to lighten up. We need to incorporate that childlike joy back into our life, and it's not just work, pay taxes, and die. Okay, you need to play, and we're here for a purpose. We're here on a mission, and part of this mission is to heal, experience, heal, and then move on to the win. It's time for a win. I think even though it can be really uncomfortable, it is time for that win. And yeah, we got to keep practicing. 5 of Wands. This is we're in conflict, but the 5 of Wands, you guys got to remember they practice with wands. This is not the best image, but with the 5 of Wands, they usually practice with, it's sword play, but they're practicing with sticks so they don't cut each other while they're learning. Okay, so this is a card of, we have to keep trying. You have to, if something hasn't succeeded, if some area of your life still needs work, you're not a failure. It's just time to keep practicing. Stay in there. Get in there.
Like a kid that rides a bike.
Yeah, get in there. Do it again. When your kid falls down, when we were little, you fall down and you get back up. You don't have to tell a year child. You don't have to tell them to get up when they fall down. They just have this urge. They have this instinct. They fall down, they pull themselves back up, and they take that first step and they toddle and fall on their butts, and then they get back up. That's what this card is telling us. Is like, even if you've tried something before and you've been working on something, there's plenty of projects I've been working on that have kind of felt struggling. I just keep trying, because to try is to win.
Right.
You don't win when you quit. That's what it's saying. You don't win if you quit.
What I love about those 2 cards and what you're talking about, that joy, remembering your childhood, that it harkens back to the first card you pulled for everybody today, which was the Fool.
Yeah.
So having that energy and moving forward. And then when you're talking about the 5 of Wands, it's that, keep going, keep practicing, keep trying. And it speaks to what, Nicole's saying about moving into that sense of community, because the traditional 5 of Wands, you have the 5 people there, they're practicing sword play, but they have to do it together, right? So it's that sense of helping. You're learning from each other, helping each other grow, and helping each other understand what their strength is in that situation to get to where you're going together, right? So there has to be this sense of coming together. And I'm wondering what we have coming up planetarily that really speaks to that energy that we can draw on, that's going to help us understand and support us in that sense of community.
Well, we already had a taste of it. We had Pluto moving into moving away from Capricorn and into Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about the tribe. It's all about community, and it's doing things that not just serve yourself, serves you, but also the community as well. It's people, like-minded people that work together towards a common cause. That's everything that has to do with Aquarius. Yes, that it's also about advanced technology and all these kinds of things and whatever, but it's very humanitarian energy. It's very egalitarian energy. And it's also the spirit of awakening and enlightenment. And Pluto is the power. Wherever Pluto is, the power goes. And over the past 20 years in Capricorn, we've seen a huge rise in capitalism, government overreaches, just power going to the deep state. And we see how that's not working. And, and with Uranus in Taurus, that's where the shifted values are coming in from. And then, so as Pluto goes into Aquarius, we're like, you know what? It takes a village and that's what we're going to be going back to realizing, because North American society is very much individualistic. Where back in the day, you needed your tribe to survive.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it without it. If you were solo, good luck. And that's the reason why people have been so disconnected and overly medicated, for all different types of reasons, is because we've been somehow convinced that we can do it alone, and we can't, and it's not working. And so with Pluto going into Aquarius, and this will be part of our next talk, tune on in. Shameless plug. But yeah, about Pluto and Aquarius. And this is like, we're going to be living in interesting times, and by the end of this decade, it's going to be a whole different world. It's definitely not going to be the same world that we entered into this decade. That's a guarantee that.
No, absolutely not. And I think that, so much of that, people shifting as
absolutely
a group,
yeah,
in the thinking and kind of fighting back from that status quo that we were in, is evident in the strikes that are happening, not just in the entertainment industry, but we have the car manufacturers striking now. And, so much of that is just going, hello, it can't just be about a few people. It's about all of us. And, what Spock says, right? Sometimes the need of the many outweigh the need of the few. And it's that time. So because that can be scary for people as they're seeing that happen. And especially after all of the physical distancing and isolation from the pandemic, how can people, what message is there from Spirit for helping people navigate that and trust coming outside of themselves, right? So what message do we have to trust being part of community and embracing community to move forward?
Oh, Six of Wands, and the message I get from that is, together we win. Together we win, because we need each other. This now,
you just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, together we win. You get lifted up. When you make a great play on a sports team and your teammates lift you up, together we win. That person may have made the winning play, but I love to watch that. But did you see the block that player made? And did you see the route that player before him made that person win and get the attention in that moment? It's teamwork. It's very much, and that is not usually how I read the Six of Wands. But I always listen to Spirit when they talk to me. So yeah, it's a together we win. And Seven of Pentacles, that's that we have lots of options together. Seven of Pentacles is a lot of options. This is, I like to say, it's like casting seeds in the garden. And you're going to be, some seeds are going to grow faster than others. But they need caring and nurturing, and that one might need more water, and that one just needs to be pulled out and start over. So yeah, it's about team. It very much feels collaborative and teamwork, that together we win because we create more options. And
the thing
teamwork
is,
makes the dream work.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what you're saying, Pam, is that yes, we see the glamour and all that kind of stuff, but together win. And when you mentioned the thing about casting the seeds, is that some go faster than others, but the undercurrent of everything, of all that, is that they're all working together with with the roots and stuff like that. They communicate and help each other grow.
Right. You were talking about the roots and working together, and harkening back to earlier this evening and talking about needing to be grounded, and we have in all of this, in all of taking care of ourselves and going within ourselves and looking to help each other, and the coming together so we can move forward and be successful. We would be a huge disservice to us and to the community that we are working within if we are not also taking care of the earth herself. And I think that within all of these changes that's going on, all the emotions that are coming up, that's one of the things that we have to remember, because there's a lot of things that can just be, people start concentrating just on the two-legged beings of the world, and that in forgetting what it is, why we're here. You know, we couldn't exist without that grounding base of the earth. So what's going to help people remember to honor those roots, where we come from, that earthiness, and connecting it to above? So it's going to have to be that as above, so below mentality.
Oh, that's the astrological saying, eh?
Ooh. Wow. Well, we have the Queen of Swords again. So this is, again, that's going to be, we can't deny what we know. You know, this, because we have the Seven of Swords as well. So in response to your question, Amber, it's, we got to quit lying to ourselves. You can't be sneaking around this information. You can't hide this information anymore. You have to be clear and not lie to yourself, and then trust your intuition, that we have more reach than we think. You know, one product that I buy here has a far-reaching effect. Like I always tell people, I'm like, you don't realize everything you purchase, everything you eat, and everything that you have delivered is affected by the price of diesel. It's all manufactured with diesel, delivered by diesel. So we can you can't hide it anymore. You can't be sneaking it around. We have to get really, really truthful and get the facts and have some clear thinking and clear communication as well. And again, back to that discernment and intuition, just trusting our gut and not hiding from the information that we're getting. Yeah. Seven of Swords can be really sneaky, liar, pants on fire energy. We lie to ourselves. That can be us lying to ourselves. You know, well, I'm, you know, this is, you know, when we get holier than thou, I'm responsible with I'm from the desert. So I know I'm responsible with water because I am from the desert and I live here where it's rainy all the time, but I'm still water conservative because of my upbringing from the desert. So I'm not lying to myself about that part, but there are always areas of our life where we're like, ooh, I can be more honest about that and how I'm affecting what I'm doing is affecting the supply chain with Mother Earth.
Right. Yeah.
Our greedy little footprint.
Exactly.
Like the cobalt in my camera, in my phone that I'm using. That's a greedy little footprint. We need to get better at the products that we use every single day.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And then that comes from thinking of ourselves to thinking globally.
Yeah.
Well, and to piggyback on that, you know, when it comes to planetary things, Saturn in Pisces, you know, puts things real. And Pisces is also, you know, the vulnerable. Yeah. So like, you know, and to go what you're saying is about, you know, what you purchase is what you vote for.
Yeah.
And so people, you know, that buy things because, you know, they get a good deal with a very good product, but it's made in a sweatshop.
Right.
That means you're supporting that.
Right.
So that Saturn and Pisces brings that to light. Yeah. But also for those that are empaths out there, to piggyback again, what was Amber was saying before about, and you know, the empath and empathy situation is that Saturn and Pisces will also help people ground and create barriers or forms, or you know, around yourself, like, you know, barriers, you know, like protective barriers around, you know, deciphering what is actually your emotions and what aren't your emotions and stuff like that. Because I'm very empathic. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that with Saturn and Pisces, hey, wait a second, those are not my emotions. Yeah. And I would wonder why all the time before, sometimes, like, why was I feeling that way? And then I'm like, duh, you know, you're picking up, you know, you're absorbing everybody else's and making it your own, you know?
Yeah. Boundaries and filters.
Yes.
Yeah. Going to be very important. Boundaries and filters, very important for navigating the things that are coming up now and then into the winter. So, Pam, I'm loving what you're saying tonight. So I'm gonna keep picking on you in spirit right now because this is good. Yeah, this is good stuff here. Now I have to. And this is going to be for the collective, because as we get a message, it might hit some of the people here, you know, individually, but as that does, there's a healing that happens, and that healing then can be put out into the collective. Okay, so this would be 3 cards for what the collective needs to reevaluate in order to be successful through the fall season.
Queen of Swords.
Woo. No, we have the 4 of Cups, 4 of Cups, Ace of Swords, and 10 of Swords. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so we have been pulling a lot of cups. I want to point that out. We have pulled the 4 of Cups, we have pulled the 5 of Cups, we have pulled the 6 of Cups, and we have pulled the 8 of Cups. So a lot of emotional energy happening here. And this 4 of Cups is kind of a card of apathy. Like, this is, I call this the I've lost that love and feeling. You can look around you and your life is fantastic. You're blessed. You, especially us here in the northern hemisphere, or the North Atlantic, wherever we are, North America. Thank you. We are blessed, but we can look around and be like, it's not enough. Focus too much on hurt feelings or negativity, and not focus on our blessing, because this is not the best image for this. But the 4 of Cups is usually got a 1 cup being offered and 3 cups are spilled. Remember, we did pull the Ace of Cups too. And that is that beautiful new beginning. So it's about focusing on the new beginning, like a fresh start from the heart space. And then this is the sword of truth. I call the Ace of Swords a sword of truth. It's time to have a new truth, an epiphany, a new start. Again, two new start cards, or many new start cards, but that Ace of Swords is about cutting. Pam's going to use the words Pam gets in her head, and it's literally cutting through the bullshit, like cutting through your own bullshit, even, the lies we tell ourselves, so it's that realization that we have an opportunity to live a new truth. And then I love that we get the Ace and the 10 of Swords together, because that new truth, that new start with the Ace of Swords, that epiphany, it's going to come with endings. Yeah, endings. The 10 of Swords is done. There's no card in tarot more done than the 10 of Swords. Not even the Death card. The Death card is about transformation. It's not about death.
Yeah.
But the 10 of Swords is about those endings. So it's time to, it's going to be time to embrace. That's what I want to say. It's going to be embracing the endings that these new beginnings bring. Because again, what was the word we used in practice? Revolution. There's this revolutionary energy happening. Changes.
Yeah, the cutting away, letting go. Right, we had the 8 of Cups, right? The cutting go, the letting go of all that stuff that's been holding us back.
I gotta love Mercury. Oh my God, you gotta love it. But yeah, and talking about the change is like, we all fear it, but it's the thing we can always rely on, which is ironic. That's one thing we can always count on is change, but we resist it. Why? Yeah.
It's the only constant. Change is the only constant. It's our Taurus moon. Our Taurus moon, we like change. We like things the way they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Well, this is great. Do either of you have any little final wrap-ups for our fine viewers this evening? Final words of wisdom or insights for navigating this amazing fall energy. Oh, Pam's like, I'm on it. They're talking to, she's like, we're going for it.
I had to pull out. I had a big impulse when I was getting ready to do this, to pull out my heart cards. I've got the what is it called? The Healing Heart Oracle and the Human Spirit Oracle. And because I'm a Pisces, it's all about the feelings, okay? It's all about the feelings. And, Spirit always brings out, divinely connected. We need to reconnect with the divine. And that is also our higher self. And honoring, this is the thing, how we treat each other. If I am of divine lineage, so are you.
Absolutely.
So how we treat each other is it would be a direct reflection of how we feel about that our higher self or whatever deity or higher power we believe in. So yeah, it's about staying connected to, and the other little side note on this card is meet your karma. Meet your karma. So yeah, what karma do you want to push forward here? You know, you want to push forward love and abundance and prosperity and joy, or do you want to, be selfish and ornery and sit and spin on your 5 of Cups, grief and disappointment? And then I love this. Spirit cracks me up. The human spirit is easy does it. Spirit saying, simmer down, Pam. Settle down.
That's funny.
So what that is a beautiful balance, you guys. It's a beautiful balance because this is the spanking. This is the spanking. And then this is Spirit saying, take it easy. Take it easy on yourself. Easy on others. Go lightly, but walk. What is it? Walk gently, but carry a big stick. It's a very. I'm just feeling a lot of that balance energy happening. So that would be my final message from Spirit.
Yeah, and there has to be, with all the emotion that's going to be coming out, we have to remember that. We have to remember to have that balance and that, like you're talking about, have that compassion for everybody else because they're all going through it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think we're all going to come through this, with the planetary energy with a more of an understanding is that what we do to others also affect ourselves. We are not separate.
Right.
We're all, related one way or another. And, some people understand that more than others.
Yeah.
And more of us are going to come to, understand how it affects us all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we will be, and I don't know if you can see the chat or not, Pam, but people are very, they're on a Pamela bandwagon right now.
I can't see anything.
Very into the spirit connection and the messages that are coming through tonight, and have great gratitude for the learnedness that Nicole puts out there for us, even though sometimes we sit here going, what? We get it. What I love about it is that because of how we are made, even if initially we might not intellectually be able to process everything that is shared with us on the astrological level, there's a part of us that does understand it because there's an energetic that comes through. There's that vibrational piece comes through and speaks to us. Yeah. So we might not understand it in our minds first. Our hearts might get it first, and then we start processing it intellectually.
Because a lot of times when Nicole is talking, I understand the individual words, but not what they mean to. I don't understand here yet what they mean together. But my heart, and I'm like, I feel it. Yes. I can't quite form words about it in the moment. But yeah, so nailed it, Amber. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love about when the three of us get together and do this. And I hope everyone joins us back again for Winter Solstice time. Not that I want to kiss time and blow it away, but I can't wait because I love doing this with you two so much.
And hey, it's going to be the middle of Mercury retrograde.
Oh, that'll be really good. None of us. We'll all come on with our cameras upside down and it'll be great.
And you know what? Magically turned upside right.
That's right.
Yeah. It'll be perfect.
Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us this evening. Subscribe, do all the good things. Follow these two amazing women on their socials, please. And I wish everyone a wonderful autumn season, and big love to Nicole and Pamela, and huge gratitude. Thank you so much, ladies.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks, Cartomancer. Bye, Nicole.
Bye, guys.
Guys.